Before I go over part two of the story, when Baltimore steals the Browns from Cleveland and they turn into the Ravens, I want to go over something I didn't cover about the Colts fleeing to Indianapolis overnight back in 1984. In the first part of the story, I talked about how the Colts packed all of their assets into 15 Mayflower shipping trucks and moved to Indianapolis overnight. They didn't quite get all of the Colts' assets, though. The Baltimore Colts were one of the first professional football franchises to have a marching band, going all the way back to 1947. And it was actually a different Baltimore Colts in 1947. That Baltimore Colts went defunct in 1950, but the Volunteer Colts marching band stuck around, playing high school football games and doing parades in the meantime. In 1953, a new Baltimore Colts was formed, that is the current Indianapolis Colts, and the band kept on playing their halftime shows. In 1984, when owner Bob Irsay was orchestrating sneaking the Colts out of Baltimore to Indianapolis, he in advance alerted the marching band so they could prepare for the move. Instead, bandleader John Zeman was able to get all of the band's equipment out of the facilities before the moving trucks arrived. However, more important to the band's identity than their instruments was, of course, their uniforms, which were unfortunately at the dry cleaner, and Bob Irsay knew that. So Zeman hatched a plot with the dry cleaner to get all of the uniforms out of the dry cleaner and move them into a cemetery. They hid them in one of the band members' family mausoleums. Bob Irsay's wife, Harriet, said that the band belonged in Baltimore, as that's where all of the band members were, and that they should remain in Baltimore. Now, once again without a team, the band of volunteers continued to play parades, events, and other football games when they could, including in 1985 when Browns owner Art Modell, sympathizing with the band, let them play the Browns' halftime show. I wonder if we'll be hearing from him later. Anyways, the band actually continued to play the Browns' halftime show once a season while there was no team in Baltimore. In 1994, Baltimore got a CFL team, the Canadian Football League, the Baltimore Stallions, even though Baltimore is firmly not in Canada. The Stallions only were around for 2 seasons. Both years they went to the Grey Cup, and they actually won the Grey Cup in 95. Fun fact, an American team has won a Grey Cup more recently than a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. But the band wasn't just satisfied playing for a CFL team. It was John Zeman and the band who helped convince the Maryland General Assembly to build a new NFL caliber football stadium in Baltimore, something that would be absolutely crucial to the league's decision to bring football back to Baltimore, Maryland. In 96, the Browns moved from Cleveland to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Ravens. Art Modell invited the Colts marching band to become the new Ravens marching band. They actually kept the name Colt Marching Band for 2 years until M&T Bank Stadium opened in 1998, when they officially changed their name to the Marching Ravens, which they are still called today. Anyways, if you want to see exactly how Baltimore stole the Browns from Cleveland, I'll be covering that part of the story in my next video.